Hello everyone! We decided to do something a little different for this video and do a short, fun little Q&A video.
Yay! And actually the questions are coming from this.
Yes, I was about to show it. There are these cards and they're called table topics, and I think they're just a bunch of random questions to kind of break the ice with people, or just have a fun game. If you have some people over and you're entertaining, here's another game to add to the many games that you can play when you have guests. So we're just going to draw a random card and then we'll probably just both answer it.
Yeah, I think maybe 3 questions each.
Yeah, 3 to 5 depending on how much you end up talking. So I'm just going to go in the middle and I'm just going to pull out a card.
Okay.
Okay. And we can skip them if we don't feel comfortable answering them.
Okay. That sounds fair.
Because we've played this a couple of times and some of the questions can get pretty deep. And that's not what it's about. We're just trying to have fun.
Yes.
Okay. When you were young, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Oh, I know. I know exactly.
Take it away.
I know exactly what I wanted to be. Ever since I was 10, 11, I wanted to be a fashion designer. Mm-hmm. And I had such a huge passion for it. I had my sketch pad. And I remember laying on my bed and sketching designs, and my mother was a wonderful seamstress. However, I really didn't learn a whole lot about sewing from my mother. Back when I was 11, 12, 13 years old, we actually had sewing classes in school, in middle school. I don't think they even offer that anymore.
No.
So
home ec wasn't really a thing for me.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But I took sewing classes, I think in the 8th grade and 9th grade. I took sewing classes, and that's where I learned how to sew. And then my mother, whenever I had a problem, she would help me out. My mother was a perfectionist, which was actually pretty good. So I would sketch my designs and then buy some fabric, or my mother had leftover fabric because she sewed a lot. And then I would make my clothes and make my designs. I remember sewing and sketching and designing all the time for years. But I never pursued my dream because my father, when I told him I wanted to go to school and be a fashion designer, he thought it was the dumbest thing, and nobody's a fashion designer. You're never going to make any money, and blah, blah, blah. Oftentimes my father, he would just say things out of the top of his head just because he, I don't know, thought it was foolish. But if you think about it, there's clothes everywhere. You go to Walmart, there's clothes. You go to Macy's, there's clothes. I mean, there's clothes everywhere. But I think he discouraged me so much that I was very insecure and believed him, and so I never pursued it. Huh. But I will say, now I'm getting a little deep. When I was in my young 20s, I worked at this really posh women's clothing store, and I made this dress. And one of my customers came in, and immediately she said, "Where's that dress? Show me where, I want to try on that dress." And I said, "Well, I made this dress." And my boss happened to be there. And she said, she was a very wealthy young girl. And she said, "Can you take it off so I can try it on?" Well, this lady was tiny. I mean, she was very tiny. So it just really hung on her. And she said she wanted that dress. And then when she left, my boss said, "Can you make some of those dresses for the store?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." So I was married at the time. When I came home, I told my husband about it. I thought, I was just so excited about it. I thought, well, maybe this is kind of a stepping stone to get back into that that dream again. But he was just like my father. He said, that's the stupidest thing. You're never going to make any money. You're just going to waste your time. And so again, I just lost my confidence and just never pursued any of it, which was kind of sad.
It is very sad.
But yeah, that's what I wanted to be. I had such a strong passion for it. And I used to sew all the time.
Yeah, and you used to make your own clothes.
I used to make a lot of my clothes.
And then you made a lot of my clothes.
A lot of your
clothes.
clothes.
And a lot of my Halloween costumes. Every time Mom made me Halloween costumes, I would always win some sort of Halloween costume contest. Because most kids, and there's nothing wrong with it, but most kids, went to Spirit Halloween and got their mass-produced costume, and you probably saw 20 Ninja Turtles in one night, or you saw 50 Spider-Men, or something along those lines. And I always had something very unique, or if the subject matter wasn't unique, because one time my mom made me a witch costume, which isn't an unheard of Halloween costume, but it was just so intricate and so unique. It was different than any other witch costume. I called myself the Blue Witch.
Yes,
because it was blue.
Yes, exactly.
And lots of layers and ruffles and lace, and it was just such a beautiful costume.
And everything matched. The
hat,
the dress, and then there was like a tulle apron around it.
Yeah.
So I always try to make it look a little different. And I did ask her, do you want it to be black, or do you want it to be a different color? And she said she wanted navy blue. So that's what I made.
It was a very good costume. And one time I was a bride. I remember you made me my bridal costume.
Yeah.
And I won this little competition at my school.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've always enjoyed creating and sewing. So that was an easy answer for me.
I wanted to be a writer. The end. I wanted to write poetry, and I wanted to be a writer. And I was always inspired by Maya Angelou. She was my favorite. And it just didn't pan out that way. So I loved English.
That's really too bad, because I really tried to encourage you to pursue your dream. And at one time you wanted to be a writer, and you thought, well, maybe I'll just be an English teacher.
Something along those lines. I was really always interested in English. English classes were always my favorite. Writing essays was my favorite thing to do. I loved essays. Loved writing my thesis paper in college. And I had an English professor who, I got help with my classes. You can go to administration at college and kind of have these people help you. I just wanted my, associates basically. And I'm like, what are the classes I need just to get my associates? And, she kind of helps me pick the classes. And then I randomly got Professor Edwards for English.
Your favorite teacher.
My favorite teacher in the whole entire world. And I remember having to go to the main office for something, and there were a bunch of kids waiting in line to get their classes changed, and I overheard they all got Edwards, and they were actually going to get themselves out of Edwards and get a different English professor.
He was a hard teacher.
Even though it would kind of screw up their classes, it wouldn't be seamless. It wouldn't just be 15 or 20 minutes in between a class until your next class. Switching out of Edwards would mean there'd be an hour and a half gap in between their classes, and to me that just didn't make any sense. But people feared Edwards.
He was I remember you telling me that he was known for never giving anyone an A. Never.
Yeah, and so when I was asking people, these students that I had never met before, like, why are you switching out of I have Edwards. Why are you switching out of Edwards? And they're like, he's just the worst. And I'm thinking, oh, he's a terrible professor. I'm like, well, how is he the worst? He grades so hard. I'm like, you mean he's a college professor? Do you expect you to do work? Perfect! I love it! And I kept Edwards. I loved teachers that were a bit of a challenge, or people were afraid of them because they expected you to do quality work. And so I thrived. I was his favorite student, and I thrived. And I remember the last semester, or the last paper I had with him, he gave me a B, and he wrote all these little footnotes. And one thing he wrote that I'll never forget was, if this was any other student's paper, you would have got an A. But because I know you can do better, I'm giving you a B.
I remember.
And that meant so much to me. Because it's like, you know what? I didn't put my full effort into this paper. So, and he recognized, oh, I loved him. So I really wanted to be a writer, but it didn't work out that way.
And you actually took another one of his class.
I took him for English 102 the next year.
You love the challenge.
Yeah, I did. Anyways, okay. You can.
All right. That was a good answer.
Thanks.
Okay, da 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 da. This is a good one.
Okay.
Would you stop eating all junk food to live 5 years longer?
Oh no. That's a hard one because now I'm in nutrition, so kind of a 180 from wanting to be a writer or get into English somehow. That now I'm in nutrition. I'm in the nutrition field, health and wellness field. But I'm all about holistic wellness, and that's about having a balanced life, and that it's impossible to eat clean, healthy 100% of the time. And you have to have treats.
All junk food.
All junk food to live 5 years. See, that's hard because being in this field now, it's all about living a long, healthy life for as long as possible, trying not to get onto medications, trying to prevent disease. But at the same time, I love my treats too. I'm not, a crazy person who eats kale and lettuce all day long and says that I'm happy with that. I still like my treats. So
it's hard.
Because it's about balance, right? It's about enjoying yourself and not being so perfect. Well, okay, if I was going to live to be 100 and I said, okay, I'll live to be 95 and still eat my junk food, then yeah.
If you can put your own rules in there.
Right. But I mean, if it was the difference between like 65 and 70, I'd want to live to be 70.
Right.
But
right.
if it's the difference between 100 and 95, I would say eat the treats. Eat the junk food.
Well, I am 65, so...
That's what I mean,
Yeah. So I'd want to live long enough to see my grandkids.
This is a very hard question.
For me, our answers are different. Maybe if it was the 95, 100, maybe, I don't know. But 5 years, but it has to be 5 quality years. See, I'm putting my own rules there.
I know.
It has to be 5 quality years. If I know that I could live an extra 5 quality, healthy years, I would give up the junk food. We did give up junk food for 10 months. 10 months.
I didn't give up junk food. I gave up sugar.
I gave up all of it. Sugar, junk food. One of my favorite snacks is peanut butter pretzels from Trader Joe's, unsalted, which they don't even offer anymore. I gave up those. And, it was hard in the beginning, but, after you've done it for so many months, you kind of get used to it.
Yeah.
But then,
that's true. I mean, you do get used to it, but it also makes it kind of hard because I've definitely had times in my life where I've been on these really strict diets that were not very good for my mental health, but, I'd be in situations where somebody would invite me over, my husband and I, to a party, and there'd be all this food, and I'd be the weird one who's like, oh, I can't eat that. Oh, I can't eat that. And, it's odd to be that strict, and then people ask questions, and you have to explain yourself, and, to eat healthy most of the time, and then when you go to a party like that, and you just have a little bit of fun, and you let it loose, and you just eat what's there, I feel like that's like stress-free and you can have a quality life like that.
It is very hard because we had made the exception for birthdays. So for birthdays, instead of buying a whole cake, we would just go to the bakery and just buy a slice of something for each person. So we'd get one item and there wouldn't be a whole cake.
There wouldn't be leftovers.
But then it says all junk food. So that means that for my birthday, I couldn't even have a slice of cake. And
Nope.
But you can make healthy things too.
That's true.
I mean, is organic popcorn with olive oil and a little bit of salt, is that considered a junk food?
Popcorn's a junk food.
Okay. Well, popcorn's
Even
not,
if you picked healthy ingredients, I still think popcorn's a junk food.
it's debatable.
Well, because corn doesn't really have any nutritional value.
Right. But it's not like a potato chip.
I mean, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, you know?
I could give up popcorn for the rest of my life. So,
Well, you're making it out to seem like you can't. You're debating here. Anyways, next question. Hey, remember one time we said in a video that we like to talk a lot?
yes.
I believe it now. We were like, let's keep this video short at like 10 minutes. I'm pretty sure it's already been at least 15 minutes. And we're only 2 questions
we
in.
are very chatty. Okay, let's just do one more.
Okay, one more. That's a good idea. Okay. I don't like that one. I don't like that one either. No, don't read them. Okay. Oh, okay. This one's interesting. Would you rather be a great musician, artist, or athlete?
Well, artist, of course.
Yeah, you've always been into art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was quick and easy. I don't have to chat a whole lot about that. An artist. I
Okay.
still would like to be an artist.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll start with your Halloween costume.
Please do.
Okay. Now you answer the question.
A musician.
And what would you play?
I don't know. Everything.
Okay. Well, we do have a piano.
Piano, guitar. Maybe I'd like to actually have a good singing voice. Be in a band. Because, musicians, they can keep performing until they die.
I never knew this side of you.
What? That I want to be a musician?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm not good at it, but I mean, I'd rather be a good musician. I'm not really that much into art, and I'm not really that much into sports. So, but I like listening to music.
Well, if that's your answer, do you think you'll pursue any instruments, or is it just a thought?
Well, when I get some free time, maybe I'll think about it. But so far, my life is so busy right now, I ain't got time.
I understand.
I wish I did.
Yes.
But I don't have any free time.
I understand that.
All right. Well, this is like a, hour and a half long video, and we only did 3 questions. But yeah, let us know if you enjoy this format, if you enjoyed this Q&A, and maybe we'll make more of them, and maybe try to squeeze in maybe 5 questions next time.
And keep the answers short.
And keep the answers a little bit shorter. But I think that was fun.
Yes, but we're both very chatty people.
I wonder where I learned it from.
Who knows?
Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And we'll see you in the next whatever it is video that we make.
Thank you for watching.
Bye.
Bye.